how to use the container that we set up yesterday in Proxmox to set up a PI-Hole server. Now, for those of you that don't know what PI-Hole is a DNS level ad blocking server that will cover your entire network. So you are able to import lists of websites that you do not want to work on your network, and then you set all your computers to run their DNS requests through your PI-Hole, and your PI-Hole blocks those requests. Now, this will slow down your DNS, but it also has the effect of speeding up your network or your load times because you are blocking the things you don't want in a website from loading. PI-Hole also caches DNS queries. So if you visit a site like GitHub very often, then PI-Hole will cache the IP address of GitHub. So that'll also have the effect on speeding up how fast your pages load. Now, to get started, we're going to go to the container that we made yesterday, and we're going to click on it. Now we're going to click Start to get it running. Now you can see it coming to life. We're going to click Console, and the window is going to load. Now this is my demonstration Proxmox server, so I don't have a second user account set up. I would highly suggest that if you are going to use this server for day-to-day life, you should definitely have a user account set up and not log in with root. All right, so we're in. The first thing we're going to do is update. And now we're going to run an upgrade, and the -y just makes it so that we don't have to answer the yes or no question. We're telling it in the command that we do indeed want to do the update or upgrade. This should take just a few minutes. Now remember, folks, this is a brand new container that we just set up. So we have to download all of the updates for that container. First install this package. Yes. Okay, so because PI-Hole is not being run on Raspberry or a quote-unquote supported operating system, we're not going to be able to run the command that is distributed at the GitHub webpage. We're going to have to run that command with a few other commands added onto it. So this first part of the command, that is the original command, just like you'd use on a Raspberry Pi. But then we have to run this PI-Hole skip OS check equals true. And what that does is that tells PI-Hole that we know we're using an unsupported operating system, and that's okay. 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 Yes, we know it needs. Now, I would highly suggest using Cloudflare, but any of these other DNS providers are perfectly fine too. I want to install both of the lists. So I'll press Tab, highlight OK, and then press Enter. I do want IPv6. For a lot of you, you may not need IPv6 if you're here in the US, but I think I'm going to try to do a project a little bit later, and IPv6 might be nice to have when I do that project. So I'm going to hit Tab, highlight OK again, and hit Enter. My IP address that we set up when we made the container is all good, so we're going to just hit Enter. Yes, we want an admin interface. Tab to highlight OK and Enter. Hit Tab again, OK. Yes, I want to log. Now PI-Hole's starting to do the final. All right, so you want to take note of this password that'll show right here. That is going to be the password that after you're done installing, you're going to use to log into the web interface. And then you can press enter. Now it's complete, so we can go to our web browser and we should be able to go to the 233 address of our PI-Hole. Here's PI-Hole up. Now by clicking on login and pasting in that password, we can log into PI-Hole. I don't want to save this. And as you can see, it's come with some pre-built in block lists already. And here's the available window to add more if you need to. Well, I hope you enjoyed this little video on setting up PI-Hole on your Proxmox server. If you are new to PI-Hole and haven't been using it on a Raspberry Pi, make sure to go into your all-in-one router settings or your DNS settings and configure your DNS server to point to the IP address of your PI-Hole. In my case, it would be 10.10.2.233. so that all your computers in your house will then use your PI-hole. Have a good night.